University, James Franklin.
Well, first of all, truly appreciate the opportunity to be here, represent Penn State, represent the Big Ten. Always look forward to this opportunity every single year visiting with you guys. We're really pleased with our summer. I know every coach in America is saying that right now, but all of our testing number and catapult data and things like that have been great. We've had a fantastic summer, and we're excited about going into training camp. One of the things that probably stands out about our team right now is I love our overall depth. I think our overall depth is as good as it's been in a number of years. I think a couple of the things, that have factored into that is obviously we had a very well-regarded recruiting class coming in, a combination of, some transfer student athletes, not a lot, and a junior college player. And in this class, what we've been able to evaluate since they've been on campus is there's probably a larger number of those young men that we feel like are going to be able to impact our program and our organization earlier in their careers, than probably normal in our normal recruiting classes. So we're excited about that. Kind of going through our roster, you look at the quarterback position, obviously returning an experienced player at the quarterback position, a starter, a guy who's been a captain for 3 years. But this year, our depth at the quarterback position with 4 quarterbacks that we feel very, very strong about. We feel great about the competition in that room. I put our tight end room up against any other program in the country. Feel great about that room. Same thing with our running back room. O-line is the group that we come and talk about every single year, and I tell you, this is going to be the year for the next step at that position. I'm not going to do that this year. I'm going to let them prove that to you on the field, but I've been very, very pleased with that unit and the depth that we have created. Wide receiver, obviously losing a young man like Jahan Dotson as a first-round draft choice is obviously impactful. But again, our 2 deep and our 3 starters, I feel like have a chance to be as good, if not better, in our 3 starters that we're going to put on the field. So feel really good on the offensive side of the ball with what we're able to do, especially with our offensive coordinator, Mike Yursich, this being year 2 for him. On the defensive side of the ball, the game starts up front. We feel really good about our defensive line. Obviously, we got a young man representing us this today in PJ Mustipher, and another guy that's obviously been in the program and been a player for us for 5 years, using the COVID year, and excited about what he's going to be able to do in leading our front. That's a position of strength for us, not only at defensive tackle, but also at defensive end. Linebacker's the question, right? I'll get that question throughout the day. We feel really good about our 2 outside linebacker positions. At the middle linebacker position, we're going to have a competition that will go deep into camp to see who is going to lead our defense. And then in the secondary, we feel like we got a chance. And this has been kind of a year-to-year routine. We've done a great job in the secondary in recruiting and developing. Feel like that has a chance to be a strength for us. On the specialist positions, Chris Stoll, obviously, our long snapper, another guy that's using the COVID year to come back from a leadership standpoint and a consistency standpoint. Jake Pinniger is a young man that people probably are not listing as a starter, but was a starter for us for 2 years, before the last 2 seasons. So here's a young man that's been in our program a long time and has a chance to contribute and do some big things. So we're excited about where we're at. We've had a great summer. We've had a great off season. And really looking forward to coming into camp. It's really interesting kind of watching some of the other coaches and other programs talk, and obviously some week 0 games, and they started camp today. So we will start on Sunday. and looking forward to that opportunity. One of the things I did want to address is obviously some of the reports that were made with Sean Clifford and the Big Ten improving athlete benefits. One of the things I'm very, very proud of is the relationships that we have with our players at Penn State. It's something that I truly believe in, and having these open discussions and dialogue with your players is important. Pat has got on campus and has jumped in with both feet and has done a really good job in a very, very short period of time of developing those relationships as well. And to me, that's the nature of college athletics and college football right now, that you better be willing and able to have discussions that maybe we haven't had in the past. There's been more changes in college football over the last 3 years than probably the previous 25. And those are great discussions and dialogue. And I'm blessed and fortunate to have a team and an administration that's willing to have these conversations. At the end of the day, our players, and specifically Sean, want what's best for college athletics, want what's best for Penn State, want what's best for the Big Ten. So I couldn't be more proud of them. But any of the details and specifics that we have dealt with kind of behind the scenes within our family and within our organization, I'm not going to get into them today. And obviously happy about moving forward and talking about our season and the upcoming opponents. The last thing I would say is, we're going to blink and we're going to be getting on a plane to travel to Purdue. We open the season on the road at Purdue Thursday night, national television. I think the game is a blackout. Got a tremendous respect for Coach Brom, got tremendous respect for Purdue University and what they've been able to do in night games and specifically blackout games. So that'll be a tremendous challenge to open the season. We've had pretty good practice over the last 9 years of opening the season in the Big Ten on the road. So we're looking forward to that opportunity. But again, appreciate the opportunity to be here today and look forward to answering all your questions.
Okay. We'll start right in front here, Coach.
Seth Engel, Daily Collegian. James, right over here.
Hey, Seth.
A couple months ago, you seemed dissatisfied with your pass rushing unit after adding Chop Robinson in the transfer portal and a few freshmen come aboard. How do you feel about your edge as practice kicks off?
Yeah, I don't know if I would describe it the way you did, but when you have three defensive ends that make all conference over the last 2 years and you lose that type of production, obviously through recruiting and through development, you need to replace that production. So every year you're going to have that, and whether that is players within your program that are moving up into more prominent roles, or whether that is through recruiting, and now which we don't live in this area a lot, but the transfer portal is able to solve some problems for you as well. So the young man that that you mentioned, Chop Robinson, is a young man that we recruited out of high school, so knew him and his family extremely well. I think that helps us. We're typically a program, when it comes to the transfer portal, we would rather be in a situation of being involved with a young man that we already have a pre-existing relationship through the recruiting process out of high school. I think that's helpful. But obviously he's got a chance to come in and make an impact. He's come in and tested extremely well, very athletic, is a guy who's all about ball, which I love. I think he's got a chance to be a high production, low maintenance guy, which is what we want. But the other thing is having a guy that we did not have available last year in Adisa Isaac back. There's a number of guys that are going to be competing at that position that we feel really good about it now.
Coach, over to our right.
Hi, Coach. Haley Jordan, Sports Illustrated Indiana.
Hi,
You've had an interesting path with Indiana the past 2 seasons. They beat you in 2020 in overtime at Memorial, and then you don't let them score any points the next season. What are you expecting out of Tom Allen and the Hoosiers as you head back to Bloomington in November?
Yeah, I like Tom a lot. I've gotten to know Tom over his time, obviously, in the conference. Done a really good job, with that program. There's a little bit different, pressure associated with this game this year because our athletic director is an Indiana grad. So obviously he's going to have some opinions on that as well. But they've done a great job. And it's a big time program, and obviously when you look at our conference, that's the challenge. It's especially in our division. It's week in and week out. You better be ready and prepared. So we open with Purdue. I try not to get too far down the schedule. Try to keep our guys focused on the task at hand, especially when you're opening up with a conference game. But got tremendous respect for Coach Allen as well as the Hoosiers as a whole. And we appreciate them allowing us to come into the state for this.
Over here, Coach.
Hey, James. Max Ralph, Daily Collegian.
Hey, Max.
I think it was this spring you mentioned P.J. Mustipher maybe wanted to come back and move faster in his rehab process than he should. He's with you here today. Can you update his rehab process? How's he feeling? How's that gone? And do you think he's in line to be ready by week 1?
Yeah, so I think obviously everybody that covers Penn State closely and covers the Big Ten closely understands how important P.J. Mustipher has been for our program over the last 4 years, and specifically last year. A lot of people talk about the game of football. You want to be strong up the middle, very similar to baseball, and having a nose guard like P.J. Mustipher to set the tone is really, really important. He's back and excited and ready to go. He wished that he was ready for spring ball. He wasn't. But the most important thing is he's ready for camp. We went out to dinner last night. We went to have a steak at St. Elmo's, like a lot of people, owned by a Penn State grad, I want to say. And one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen is PJ ate one of the biggest steaks I've ever seen in my life. Biggest piles of mashed potatoes, ate the shrimp. I didn't tell him about the cocktail sauce beforehand. And then also ordered a full separate meal of 2 lobster tails that are massive. And he crushed it all. And he said he was kind of enjoying himself because he's passed a conditioning test. He is celebrating the fact that he's passed a conditioning test. That's behind him. He'll never have to run the Penn State conditioning test again. He's in great spirits. He feels both mentally and physically 100% back, because I think that's a big part of this, right, as well. It's not just the physical aspect of it. It's the mental aspect of it as well. And PJ's a football guy, and he's been an unbelievable representative of our program and our conference for 5 years now. PJ's brother's a center with the Chicago Bears. His dad played at West Virginia, comes from a football family. We are blessed and fortunate to have PJ back as a leader of our defense, and I think you guys will see big things out of him this year.
Okay, thank you, Coach. We are out of time.